Episode 9, Week 9 usage. As usual, I'll leave the setup at home in the notes below. And the mileage on the card this week is 3,123 miles, which works out at 113 miles for the week and 1,262 miles since the beginning of the 2020 logs. Moving on to the generation, we're at 29,252 kilowatt hours of total generation, which is 68 kilowatt hours for the week and 263 kilowatt hours since the 2020 start. I'll share the My Energy Eddi device readings, but these finish on a completely different day compared with the rest of the logs, so I'll just keep posting these just to see how they are to date. The import for the week was 384 kilowatt hours, which is a total of 3,801 kilowatt hours since the start of the 2020 logs. And the Tesla weeklies are the home usage of 443 kilowatt hours, 67.6 kilowatt hours from the solar, 88 kilowatt hours from the powerwall, and 392 kilowatt hours from the grid and 1.4 kilowatt hours back into the grid. Moving swiftly on to the dailies, on Monday we took 47.4 kilowatt hours from the grid with 0.1 going back, 14.1 kilowatt hours from the powerwall, 5.1 kilowatt hours from the solar, and the home usage was 52.3 kilowatt hours, which was the least of the week. On Tuesday, we pulled 61.1 kilowatt hours from the grid with a 0.3 going back, which is becoming quite common now. We're producing more solar. I assume this is a switch over from the My Energy device. 13 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall, 8.7 kilowatt hours came from the sun, and the home usage was 67.8 kilowatt hours. On Wednesday, we pulled 54.4 kilowatt hours from the grid, again with 0.3 going back into the grid. We got 12.4 kilowatt hours out of the Powerwall, 11.1 kilowatt hours from the solar, and the home usage was 63.2 kilowatt hours. And the gap between the home usage and what we pulled in from the grid is starting to extend now the solar days are getting longer. On Thursday, we pulled 51.6 kilowatt hours from the grid with 0.3 going back. We got 13.6 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall, and we produced 14.1 kilowatt hours from the solar, so that's increasing nicely, and the home usage was 64.1 kilowatt hours. On Friday the 28th of Feb, we pulled 65.7 kilowatt hours from the grid, and nothing went back to the grid. 13.4 from the Powerwall, but we only generated 1.9, so there's definitely a correlation between how much solar we're producing and how much we're sending back to the grid, and the home usage was 65.5 kilowatt hours. On Saturday the 29th of Feb, we pulled 62.9 kilowatt hours from the grid and 0.3 going back. We only got 9.6 from the Powerwall, so that's the least we got from the Powerwall all week. But this is generally because we produced quite a bit of solar at 12.4 kilowatt hours and 69 kilowatt hours for home usage. And finally, Sunday, the 1st of March, we pulled the smallest amount from the grid all week of 49.2 kilowatt hours with 0.1 going back. The Powerwall we drew 11.8 kilowatt hours from, and the solar was the most of the week also at 14.3 kilowatt hours, and the home usage was 61.1 kilowatt hours. So there's a massive difference between what we pulled from the grid and what the home usage was. And finally, the gas usage, we pulled 10.76 kilowatt hours from the grid at a cost of £1.55 for the week, including the VAT and the daily charge, which has brought the year up to £13.09 for gas. Again, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.